This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Friday, the 5th day of August in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The leader of the Alliance for Change, Comrade Ramjatan, today called for Chief Executive Officer at Gaisuco, Sesnarayan Singh, to resign from his position or be fired, declaring that there is no future for the sugar company under the current CEO. Ramjatan, who is also the opposition spokesperson on agriculture in Parliament, said the Gaisuco CEO has shown that he is not competent to move the industry forward. Earlier this year, Vice President Bharat Jagdeo also spoke of the need to restructure the management of the sugar company, but nothing has been done since. The Ghana Agricultural and General Workers Union GAWU has also expressed its no confidence in Singh's ability to turn the ailing industry around.
Sugar with Sesnarayan would certainly have no future. The AFC had indicated that the CEO is an unsuitable candidate for the governance and the administration of Gaisuco. He knew nothing about sugar and has been appointed as part of the favoritism practice and procedure adopted by the PPP government since its installation in 2020.
According to the AFC leader, the recently leaked audio recording of a Gaisuco board meeting revealed that the sugar company has bigger problems than expected and is clearly in the wrong hands.
The entire industry, notwithstanding these tractors, has huger problems. The problem of unity between directorship and of boards and of the CEO and his set of managers. If you are going to have polarization to the extent whereby prostitute talk is going to be carried out in such an important board as Gaisuco, then look, the government not only got to stop tractor purchases, but it must knock off Sesnarayan Singh. He is showing that he's totally incompetent.
When Singh took over the management of the state-owned sugar company in 2020, he promised to turn it around from its years of big losses. But a few months ago, the corporation saw its lowest sugar production figures in over 50 years. And there was also concern about the shortage of sugar on the local market. The company has since dispelled that contention and is now working with the Ghana Marketing Corporation to get its product to consumers. Workers at Gaisuco have also been staging protest actions over the management and other issues. More news when we return in just a moment.
Man, I've been getting this feeling lately. I don't know where it's coming from. I got this itch to win and win big, and I got to scratch it. Activate, scratch, win big with GTT's Blazing Hot Summer Promotion, which runs from July 1st to September 30th. Activate a data plan or bundle and receive a link to your digital scratch card every Saturday. Tap the link, scratch, and you can be a winner of one of our amazing prizes of electric bikes, TVs, laptops, tablets, food vouchers, and so much more. It's gonna be a blazing hot summer with GTT's Scratch and Win promotion.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grade 7 and 8 students for the 2022-2023 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us on 613-4806.
Whatever you need, you got it. Come through and get your mortgage. Live the dream with Republic.
95 to 100% financing, 50% waiver of negotiation fees, plus one lucky person gets their mortgage paid in full. Turn someday into today. Talk to Republic Bank about your low-cost mortgage today.
Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Have you heard the news?
The CPL is back.
Yes!
The finals coming to Guyana.
Absolutely brilliant.
It's going to be a carnival of cricket.
It's going to be a carnival of cricket.
It's going to be a carnival of cricket.
See you there.
With concerns about the literacy level among Guyanese students, the Ministry of Education has established a special department which is focusing solely on literacy. The new department already has an Assistant Chief Education Officer for literacy overlooking its operations and plans. In a statement, the Minister of Education, Priya Manik Chand, said literacy will now receive specialized attention to ensure that every child is fully literate by the 4th grade.
Just finished marking paper 2 of the NGSA. Paper 1 is still being marked, but paper 2 is just finished marking. And I was so disappointed and so hurt and so worried, like my heart broke when the report came in that there were students at grade 6 who were not writing a single word on that exam paper, who were writing in language that people did not understand, who were just joining up letters, trying to make a sentence, probably to appear to the invigilator to be busy. We fail those children. And, I say we very, very loosely, but that can't continue.
There has been growing worry over the years about the performance of students at the National Grade 6 Assessment Examinations. While there has always been focus on the top performers in almost all of the 4 subject areas, an average of 50% of the students who wrote the exams were unable to gain 50% or more in the subjects. It is believed that the COVID-19 pandemic, which resulted in the closure of schools for almost 2 years, has worsened the situation. The Education Minister is hoping that with renewed efforts focusing on literacy, better grades and more rounded students could be the final result.
We have to devise a system in the Ministry of Education, and we are working feverishly on that, and it will be implemented come September, to make sure every single child by age 8 is able to read, understand what they're reading, and reproduce it in writing.
Ms. Manik-Chan said it is unacceptable that there are students who made it to the grade 6 level and are still unable to read and write. As part of the new literacy push by the Ministry of Education, teachers and education officials will be expected to do more to address the concerns about literacy among the Guyanese children. Let's tell you now that the former head of the Environmental Protection Agency today called on the Guyana government to come clean and release the information regarding full coverage liability with ExxonMobil. Dr. Adams, who is also an executive member of the Alliance for Change, said the party is in receipt of a letter which proves that the government has not been truthful on the matter. Recently, Opposition Member of Parliament David Patterson presented a motion in the National Assembly calling on the government to adopt full unlimited liability coverage for oil spills and other disasters related to petroleum production as a condition for granting approval for ExxonMobil's fourth project, the Yellowtail development, and all other future petroleum development. Although the government has said that it is negotiating the insurance policy, a letter has surfaced alleging that there is already such a policy in place since 2020. The letter, which was seen by News Source, was addressed to ExxonMobil Country Manager Alistair Rutledge and was signed by the EPA Acting Director Sharifa Razak in December of 2020. In that letter, the EPA official asks the ExxonMobil official to take copies of insurance agreements for each of the company's various offshore operations, together with copies of the Bank of Guyana no objection and approval for the insurance agreements to a scheduled meeting. Dr. Adams said the government has denied that any such agreements have been in place, even though the Bank of Guyana may have been involved.
Clearly evidence that despite their denials, the insurance does exist, even though the Honorable Vice President has fooled the nation by telling us that EEPGL is seeking $2 billion of insurance, then change his tune to say that the EPA will be purchasing the coverage. Then there's a talk now about the $600 million dollars insurance that adds to the kerfuffle.
Dr. Adams alleges that not only is there insurance, but there is a tripartite agreement involving the Bank of Guyana, which requires that the bank give its no objection approval for all production and exploration activity, and require that the insurance, which was already procured by Exxon, be supported by the Bank of Guyana.
Before now, the government had dishonestly refuted any involvement of the Bank of Guyana, and the Bank of Guyana and the Guyana Insurance Association confirmed such involvement. The foregoing makes it unambiguous that since returning to office, the government has habitually indulged in deceiving its people.
Just last week, the Attorney General Anil Nandlal, during his Issues in the News program, said the government is negotiating insurance coverage of up to $2 billion with the company ExxonMobil in the event of an oil spill or another disaster. Well, let's tell you now that political analyst and executive member of the Working People's Alliance, Dr. David Hines, has issued a call for the fair and equitable distribution of the country's oil resources. Speaking at an opposition coalition-organized rally earlier this week, Dr. Hines said there are still signs of certain sections of the Guyanese society not cashing in on the country's newfound wealth, although billions of dollars have already been raked in from the sector. When the APNU-AFC was in government, the WPA had proposed that $5,000 be given to each household from the country's oil wealth. Dr. Hines believes a realistic cash grant is still possible.
We want all of us to get this oil money. That is why my party, in the name of Dr. Clive Thomas, Professor Clive Thomas, we said, do whatever you want with the oil money. Build your roads, build what you want to build. But the sufferers of this country, take 10% of it and divide it equally among the 210,000 households in this country. We say we are not discriminating. Every household, whether you're Amerindian or East Indian or African or Chinese or Portuguese, you will get the same amount. That is democracy.
WPA executive members said the government appears to be transferring the oil wealth to businesses and communities closely aligned with the government.
This oil money that is flowing in Guyana, it belongs to all of us. Those of you of African descent, it's your grandmother's back pay, it's your grandfather's back pay, and you are entitled to it. And I'm saying, we got to be at the table. And if you don't want us at the table, we're going to kick down the feet of the table.
And according to Dr. Hines, in 2 years, the government has shown that it is more interested in helping an ailing sugar industry, while the rest of the country faces the rise in the cost of living. He said Guyanese must not be comfortable with the current state of affairs in the country, and they must stand up and demand better. President Irfaan Ali has committed to make the Guyana Defense Forces Air Corps the best in the region by providing the necessary support and investment. During a meeting with Air Corps ranks at the Air Corps hangar in Tamari, the president implored the officers to a new way of thinking. He said their skills can be put to use for more commercial purposes that can bring the government revenue. In addition, the president said the Air Corps must also be in a position to lead the region.
I want Air Corps Guyana to be the premier Air Corps in the region. This must be the go-to Air Corps for any country in the region seeking training or seeking to build their capacity.
President Ali explained that there are gaps which must be identified and addressed in order for the Air Corps to reach its highest level. In the meantime, he said the establishment of an academy and development program which can be integrated with the scholarship program as well as a national training program and eventually with a training program should be placed high on the agenda.
So today it's about working to get to those standards. It's about understanding each of you and where you were thinking, what you were thinking, and how you were thinking. Because frankly speaking, We can't make this investment if people are not ready to invest their future with us too. It's a two-way street. So we have to understand the gaps, and we have to work on filling those gaps so that we are going to come up with an action plan today. We must be the best the civil aviation has to work with in the industry.
There was also talk about the possibility of having a military-operated commercial arm of the unit and about the equipment needed for such a directive. The president explained the discussions are ongoing as to what equipment may be needed for investment.
This is about us making some important decisions as to where we want to position it. In my mind, I want to position it as the best air corps in the region. And we're already making the investment in the human resources. We're spending a lot of money.
The officers were told to be frank and open with the government on their deliberations to ensure that the Air Corps reaches its full potential.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grade 7 and 8 students for the 2022-2023 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us on 613-4806.
Doors and windows, Republic. Rooms and more, Republic. A brand new rug on the floor. Come to Republic, come to Republic. Whatever you need, you got it. Come through and get your mortgage. Live the dream with Republic.
95 to 100% financing, 50% waiver of negotiation fees, plus one lucky person gets their mortgage paid in full. Turn someday into today. Talk to Republic Bank about your low-cost mortgage today.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, a new airline called Antigua Airways, linking the Twin Island nation directly to West Africa, is expected to begin service in mid-October. A formal agreement was signed between the government of Antigua and Barbuda and the Nigerian publishing and printing company Marvelous Mike Press. The news was first revealed in a cabinet note last month. That note reported that the carrier would be financed by wealthy Africans wishing to open a new route between the African continent and the Eastern Caribbean. The tourism minister in Antigua and Barbuda, Charles Max Fernandez, witnessed the signing this week and said October is a tentative timeline for the first flight. He said there may be about 3 flights per week. The official said this is not only beneficial to Antigua and Barbuda, but also to the wider Caribbean. The Nigerian investors will finance the operations of Antigua Airways, while the government of Antigua and Barbuda will receive 20% of the profits. The United States Department of Justice says that Wanda Vasquez Grace, the former governor of Puerto Rico, has been arrested. She's facing charges on bribery and other allegations. The Department of Justice also said that the political consultant for the former governor of Puerto Rico and the president of an international bank have also pleaded guilty to participating in the bribery scheme. The Department of Justice officials said that the department is committed to holding accountable those who wrongly believe that there is one rule of law for the powerful and another for the powerless. According to the indictment from December of 2019 through June of 2020, the then governor allegedly engaged in a bribery scheme with various individuals to finance her 2020 gubernatorial election campaign. The official said the criminal actions of the defendants in the case strike a blow to the heart of American democracy and further erodes the confidence of the citizens in their institutions. And finally tonight, international news. China is halting cooperation with the U.S. in several key areas, including climate change, military talks, and efforts to combat international crime. The new measures follow a trip to Taiwan by a U.S. congressional delegation led by senior Democrat Nancy Pelosi, who is the Speaker of the House. China, which also announced it was sanctioning Ms. Pelosi and her family, views the visit as a challenge to its claims of sovereignty over Taiwan. The self-ruled island sees itself as distinct from the mainland. The measures were announced by China's foreign ministry earlier today. It said dialogue between the U.S. and Chinese defense officials would be cancelled, while cooperation on returning illegal immigrants, climate change, and investigating international crime would be suspended. The two major world powers have maintained cordial diplomatic relations on the need to combat climate change in recent years. At last year's climate summit in Glasgow, China vowed to work with urgency with the U.S. to cut emissions. The countries have also found rare common ground on efforts to fight the trade of illegal drugs such as fentanyl. The decision to halt cooperation was taken because Ms. Pelosi visited Taiwan in disregard of China's strong opposition and serious representations, the Chinese ministry said in a statement. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight and this week. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.